I have been enjoying Enter the Gungeon a lot over on my Twitch channel, so I decided to do a quick sprite study session over the last weekend, and it was streamed. This is a quick time lapse of how I did a Gungeon style version of me. Gungeon's character sprite seems to be a little bit larger than 16 by 16. It's more like 16 pixels wide and like 24 pixels tall. So we started a 24 by 24 sized canvas. I am using the pilot as the base proportions for me. And I'm just laying down the general shape of the character now. Keep in mind that not all of Gungeon's characters are proportioned the same. Here, after doing a little bit of a investigation on the Marine and the Hunter, I've decided to fiddle a bit with where my arm is placed. And then we go ahead and drop down our basic colors and shapes. Here I try to do my usual hue shift shading for the outline, but there's a very big difference in value from the base tone and the outline that they used. Even what I finally settled on here is not drastic enough, I feel, looking back. And again, some of the sprites are even in width, and the pilot that I'm using as a reference was odd in width pixel wise. So we had to finagle the facial features there a bit, but we got there in the end. Also, the mouth placement makes it seem like it's a genuine expression and not a necessary restriction based on pixels. I do fiddle quite a bit with the body proportion, because I feel like looking at me like this, I am like built like a fridge, and that's not really a look that I'm going for, even though reality is whatever I want it to be. In this particular case, I didn't want to be a fridge. I did try a lot of configurations, but eventually I settled on one that I liked, and I noticed my color inaccuracies. I'm missing my vam braces and my gauntlets. And then we start shading and highlighting. The Gungeon sprites themselves vary in how shaded they are. The convict and the pilot are very simple, where only their hair is shaded, while the Marine and the Hunter having a very reflective armor and a cloak respectively means that they get more aggressive in comparison shading. I decided that the most important part of my character is the helmet, so at the very least I'm going to shade that and probably the skin to emphasize my facial features. We went through a couple iteration of how the darker color is located, but eventually we found something that we're happy with. I think what we are looking for at here is what I decided to settle on, which is a total of 4 gray colors. Tempted to shade the feathers also, but I think keeping them just plain seems to be the more correct way to go. Otherwise, we risk of making it a little bit too detailed and detracting from the actual look and feel of the simpler sprites. I did add some more shadows on the face beneath the slotted visor, and I think that ties the whole expression of my character very well, making him look like a very grim, jaded knight with a troubled past, as is the case with every Gungeon character. Here I believe we do a little bit more measuring of what I've made, and I believe we realized that I did the body over by 1, and chopping it by 1, chopping my torso by 1 pixel actually solved the previous issue, which was I was built like a fridge. But now I look reasonably proportioned, especially when compared to other Gungeon characters. Yeah, this is a look that I'm happy with, and I'm going to transfer into the different position characters. Here's me doing some basic pixel surgery on myself. For the one other sprite that I'm working with, one sprite shape rather. The process itself is actually very simple, but I was concerned with the posing as well as keeping the dimensions the same, because the Gungeon sprites have the same width whether they're looking forward or to the side. That being said, I believe we did settle with a pose that is 1 pixel less white. This is 14 pixels white instead of my front facing one at 15, but we did manage to get a very, very decent line of action there, where I'm sort of hunched and ready for battle. And then we started placing the sprites around the finished composition, and we make sure to do the different sides properly, making sure that the feathers are in the right place, not just mirrored when flipped, as well as the leather harness. The back is very simple. We just use the side-facing sprites, and then Gungeon chopped off one of their arms when they're facing the back. When you're looking at them from the back, rather. The shape is the same, we just filled in the back of the helmet, the front of the helmet, my face to be the back of the helmet, and flipped over the leather harness again. And this is what we ended up with in the stream. And this is the finished product. I added outlines and shadows to better match the game and dialed up the value difference in between some shades of gray, some base color, and some highlight to give it a more cartoony feel. And that's it, really. If you want to see the full piece, it's over on my Twitter, along with my other works. If you are watching this near the time of upload, I'm currently streaming some Enter the Gungeon on Twitch, so come through and hang out. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss part 2 where I draw weapons and animate the sprite. Alright, cheers! Goodbye now. Ta-ta!